And welcome back to the dojo, everybody. My name is Z Sensei, and we are back with another one. Today we're looking at the most broken things in the game. We're starting with defense, so this whole video is just going to be about defenses, and tomorrow I'm going to stream on Twitch showcasing a lot of these things in actual matches. So the footage you're seeing is just, footage for the background. It's just to amuse you while I'm talking about all these crazy things. These are way too many things to record. I don't have an editor. I don't have anybody to help me with this stuff. So we're just gonna try to make sure that, you sort of get it. And if you don't, just head over to the Twitch, or send me a message on Discord or on, Twitter. And we'll get over it. So, starting from the top. When I said in the last video that levitation is just a way to make fancy screenshots and stuff, and that it doesn't really have much special going on for it, I lied. And when I say I lied, I mean it actually has everything to do with everything. When you're looking at the footage you're looking right now, this thing only works because I'm able to levitate. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I'm using levitation and doing a demon hunter while I'm gliding. Right, so I'm gliding and then I do demon hunter, and that makes me do that. Now what you're seeing there in that last clip is demon hunter being used without it actually being used. Right, and there are about like 8-9 categories of crazy stuff that are going on, and I'm going to try to just go over every jutsu and every ultimate for defenses and just tell you one by one what they do, and at the end of it maybe talk about what this would mean for the meta, with this, if there are going to be new meta builds, what this does for the old meta builds and how it upgrades them, and what this does for the future of the game in general. So yeah, starting from the top, Petrification Jutsu. All Petrification Jutsu does is make you levitate. So if you glide and you are not the host, you click Petrification, you'll levitate. Nothing special. While you're levitating, you can use Petrification in midair. So I call that a levy midair, basically. Levitating midair. Mud Wall, second jutsu, doesn't do anything. If you glide and you click levitate, and you click mud wall, doesn't do anything. It's like you're too close to a wall or something when you're trying to summon something, or there's a tornado and you're trying to summon something and it can't, you're like going backwards like this. Well, that's the case for mud wall. So if you're levitating or if you're in a glide and you click mud wall, nothing happens. You just get bugged out. Summoning Toad doesn't do anything. The cool thing about Summoning Toad is you shouldn't do Summoning Toad on the floor. You should do like a double jump or a glide, then click Summoning Toad, because you'll do the hand signs in midair, and when you do it in midair, you land on the floor, you instantly pop it by putting your hand on the floor. That's not one of the advanced tactics. That's just something basic about the jutsu itself that most people don't realize. Moving on to rotation. Now here's where it starts getting interesting. So when you do a glide and you have the levitative state, meaning you are not the host, so you glide and you're not the host and you click rotation, on your screen you'll just be standing there levitating, but in reality what will happen is rotation will be active and you're actually not using rotation. Like, you still have rotation and it will be active there until somebody hits you or you start moving again. Right? So you have a free way of pulling off a rotation. Now what would that mean? That would mean something like, guys are, your teammates are dead, you have a rotation and you want to survive whatever is going to come at you, so you do a glide into rotation and you just chill there, wait, basically. After somebody hits you, rotation is going to pop, you're going to have to start running again or use your actual rotation, like the actual cooldown. So yeah, I call that a free infinite because you can do it for free. And if you don't move while you're in midair, it's infinitely long. It just stays there until somebody touches you. Obviously there are things that counter rotation, so if you use this smartly against the enemy that does this, you'll be able to abuse their positioning. Strangle Jutsu just makes you levitate. You can do it in midair, but you could also do that without levitation, so nothing special there. If you glide and you click Strangle, you'll levitate. Dome Wall. Now this is a midair one. Normally Dome Wall only really works on the floor. If you do Dome Wall while you're levitating, so not while you're gliding. If you do this while you're gliding, nothing happens. But if you glide and then you hold block, for instance, and you levitate, and then you click Dome Wall, you pull up a Dome Wall like you saw in the last video. So that might be cool for some strategical stuff, for some defenses in midair. Honestly, that one is more something you can use to get some cool setups with friends and stuff. It doesn't really have much benefits in actual matches. Partial Expansion is also free. If you do a glide, you click Partial Expansion. In your screen, you'll just drop down. But in the enemy screen and in reality, you'll do a partial expansion in the air. And what happens is, while this is happening, you've got hyper armor. So if you need to go somewhere and you need to land somewhere and you've got partial expansion and it's not on cooldown, so you can use it, you can just glide. Obviously, provided you're not the host, you can glide, click partial expansion, and then land without worrying about getting interrupted. Let me think. So we've got Human Spike Boulder, which is really cool. You can do it in midair, and usually as a defense, when you get in midair through a levitate, when you start levitating through a glide, as a defense, you won't be really fast while you're in the levitative state. There are only a few ways to become fast while you're levitating, and none of those things really work within the context of a defense. So what that means is, I'm reading off a paper, by the way, but what that means is that if you do Human Spike Boulder after a glide, and think about like base battle, right? You do a glide, you get into levitation, and then you do Human Spike Boulder. You'll have a slow moving Human Spike Boulder. Now this makes it really easy to be accurate and just defend one point really well for like a scroll or whatever, instead of having this wild ass fast going rotation Human Spike Boulder thing. You'll have more control. Besides that, it doesn't really do much. Sand Shield, you can do it in midair as a levitate. Normally you could also do it in midair, but if you pop it in midair without levitation, you'll just drop while you popped it. If you do it in midair in a levitation, it will do a full circle around you, and you'll stay there. You can move right while you're doing this, so that's kind of cool. If you need it, don't know what you would need it for, but I'm sure some of you will figure out something cool with it. Sand Shower, that's a double cast. That's a whole another category again. Double casting just means in the context of levitation, because it's different without levitation. There's another type of double casting that I haven't gone over yet, but I might in a future video if people become really good at the game, where these things start becoming viable. But coming back to the shower, you can double it. So how do you do that? You levitate, you click it. The moment you click it, you need to imagine how long does it normally take for the sand shower to pop off. Now imagine that length of time in your mind, and then click right as the animation is actually starting. So when the animation actually starts, that's when you click it again. Another way of just looking at this is look at the jutsu itself in the bottom corner and just wait until you see it disappear, and then the next time you do it, click it again right before it disappears. That's usually an easy way of getting into this technique. That way you'll do 2 sand showers. They're both super good. Yeah, just double sand shower. Shark Bomb puts you into levitation, doesn't do anything else. So when you glide, you click Shark Bomb, you're levitating. Subterranean, you can do this in midair now. Like I said before, defenses in levitation are kind of slow, so it's not like you'll be able to sub T and be fast. But sometimes if you think about terrains that have like a lot of edges and stuff, you can't sub T from edge to edge. So if you're already in the sky levitating, you can sub T and then still go safely through the sky without being interrupted by any edges and stuff, any terrains you have to use to your advantage. Normally that you don't have to do that anymore. Let me think. we've got snake thrust. So snake thrust is something I call a use control. What does that mean? When you go into a glide, you use it the moment you click it, plus you gain control. What does that mean? So you can, in the glide, while the animation is happening, normally you would do like a snake thrust standing still, right? But now if you do it gliding into a snake thrust, you'll have full control over your character going left and right with your left stick still while you're moving in the sky. And your character, what it will practically do is it will do the animation while you're still moving. So you're moving and it's doing the animation at the same time, which is just another way of doing the jutsu and being able to dodge more while you're doing this. Honestly, when it comes to this jutsu, there are no real big benefits except for, you know, looking a little bit fancier, being able to dodge a kunai easier while you're doing it. But it's a lot of setup just to be able to dodge a kunai. So yeah. Ripple, same exact thing. It's a use controller, meaning, you know, you click it, it's going to use it, and you have control over yourself while it's happening. Again, it's a lot of work for very little benefit. And in the case of the ripple, seeing as we're not playing with if you're not playing with the actual NPC, with the actual cast character Mitsuki, then your ripple is going to be very hard to hit. It only really hits if you're on the floor and the enemy is already like half falling and stuff. So unless you are Mitsuki, this ripple is probably not going to benefit you a lot. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but Mitsuki's ripple never got updated, so Mitsuki's ripple still hits super well, like ridiculously well, in midair, on the floor. It kind of hits everything that is in its range. So as long as you are within charging range and you're Mitsuki, click ripple, you'll hit it, unless they block, obviously. Toad oil. So toad oil, you can double cast it. Same concept, you just click it and then you imagine when is it gonna happen, and then you click it again and you'll do it twice. If you switch characters real quick when you do this, you can hit it to 2 people. Very high skill, high reward. Needle Jizo, that's a cooldown category. What is cooldown category? It means that normally if you were to use this jutsu, it would only go on cooldown after the jutsu has run out. Now in this case, it doesn't work anymore like that. So you're going to have a Needle Jizo that you can pop in a levitative state, but it will automatically go on cooldown while you're still in the Needle Jizo. Therefore, you'll recover a lot more of the Needle Jizo before, you know, you'll recover it way quicker than normal. Let me see. Dragon Flame. Dragon Flame, if you use it, you're gonna levitate. You can already use it in midair normally. If you click it while you're gliding, you're gonna go into levitate, and then you can click it again, but you could have done that either way, so no real benefit, just makes you levitate. Dragon Bullet, unable to use it, just like the summoning, just makes you bug out in the sky basically. It doesn't even make you levitate, it's just something that the game does not allow you to do. Uchiha Flame, you can now do this in mid-air by doing it in a levitate, staying there doing the Uchiha Flame. What that does is normally the Uchiha Flame is a whole bubble that goes around you, but because you're on the floor, it doesn't actually hit anybody below you because there's nobody below you. So if you have allies that are above you that are too far away and you go into a glide and you're levitating and you do Uchiha Flame, you'll be able to hit your allies that are on the floor and in the sky, because now the half circle that's going around you, it will be a full circle that goes around you. Super beneficial if you ask me. But yeah, it requires a lot of skill. Kamui, it's a use levy, meaning when you use it, when you click on it, it actually uses it, right? All the other things that I just call a levitate, just a levy, they do not get used to make you levitate, right? But this is a use levy. What does that mean? You click it, it makes you levitate, plus it gets used at the same time. And it gets used in the normal way, so it's not like you are gaining extra stuff or something by doing it that way. It's not like it's going on cooldown faster or anything. Simple use into levitate. Demon Hunter, which is one of the things that is probably going to change the meta, is super strong with gliding. If you can master gliding and levitation and Demon Hunter, you're gonna have the best amount of time, because Demon Hunter is free, completely free, but you can't hit them with the Demon Hunter, you just get the hyper armor. So what that means is if you do a Demon Hunter every 6 seconds or so from a glide, you'll be in hyper armor pretty much all match long, which is great. And Water Prison is also amazing because same concept, but it is harder to hit. It doesn't chase the enemy. So, oh, it's still recording. Great. So, Water Prison is also a free infinite. What does that mean? So when you go into a glide and you click Water Prison, your character will start doing a Water Prison for free, but it doesn't chase the enemy. So you're kind of stuck in place. In your screen, you're just standing there. You're just standing doing nothing. Basically, you're just levitating. But on the enemy screen, what is happening is, and that's the reality, only what is happening on the enemy screen is what is really going on. What is happening in their screen is they see you in the bubble style going after someone, but you're never really chasing anyone. You're just stuck in midair like that. So it doesn't really benefit you much unless you are about to jump into a fight and a guy is jumping into you and you're gliding while this is happening, and then you click it and then you hit it. Very rare scenario. Highly unlikely to ever happen in a match. But yeah, if you can get it done, you'll probably be a freaking legend. Okay, looking at the ultimates. The basic ultimate you can now do in midair. Looks cool, is probably not beneficial because I've never been able to hit anybody with it. Water bubble ultimate, you can now do it in midair. Also not beneficial because you could do it through walls either way, so probably this will probably make it a worse setup than if you just regularly do it. Deep Forest Emergence, this one is going to be cool. So Deep Forest Emergence, usually just like with Uchiha Flame, it's a half circle that comes out of you because you're standing on something. But in reality, it's a full circle that goes around you. So if you do a glide, let's say it's a base battle, you do a glide, or it's a combat battle, whatever, you do a glide and you do the ultimate, it will now hit a full circle around you. So you have twice as much capacity for hitting people, which is just amazing. And if you place yourself right with a glide, you kind of guarantee that the enemy will not be able to dodge it, which is just fantastic. It's very hard to hit the deep forest unless people kind of stand still. So yeah. The pyramids, you can now do them in mid-air. Same thing, doesn't really benefit you. You could have done that behind a wall, which is probably safer and smarter. Super Shark Bomb, it's a control mid-air. So that means that, you know, you can do it in midair and you've got control over it. If you click it, you're not going to see anything happening. Oh, sorry, it's not a control. Well, it's sort of a control. It's an insta control, meaning you click it and your character will do the ultimate, and if you interrupt it, then the ultimate doesn't happen, but you still waste it. So it's a very tricky one to use. It's only something you should do if you want to get into levitative state first and then click the ultimate. That way you'll do the regular ultimate in the regular style with hyper armor on you and everything, but you'll be in mid-air standing still afterwards and while you're doing it and stuff, so it's great. Sage mode instacast, which means that if you go into a glide, you click Sage mode, you'll instantly go into Sage mode without the cutscene. So no close up to you, none of that. No way of getting interrupted out of it as well. So yeah. Summoning Toad, the ultimate, the big toad. Very cool if you just do that in midair, but still, again, like the pyramids, like the water bubble, you probably would have been better off just doing it behind a wall. In Reaper Death Seal, it's a control insta, meaning, you know, if you move, it goes away. It's an insta, so, and it doesn't chase, just like the water prison. It's kind of useless in midair. Don't do it. Don't do a Reaper with a glide. You're just gonna waste it, because it's pretty much the water prison, but it's not free. You actually use it, so it's bad. Obito's ultimate, you can now do this in midair. Looks really cool. Try it out. And the Hidden Mist ultimate, it is now an instant cast, and you could have always done this in midair, but it's now an instant cast, so can't get interrupted, and no cutscene, instantly casted. You know, glide ultimate instantly happens. Just jump after you click ultimate or something, and boom. That's about it. Yeah, thank you so much for listening. This was the video. There's so much to go over for every other class. I'll be doing this tomorrow. If you got any questions, just hit me up on social media. Please, guys, I'm looking for an editor. I hope somebody in this community is able to edit this stuff, because you know, I'm just not up for this. It's just too much work. I don't have any hardware to do this. My name is Z Sensei. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.